Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to its Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Monday, October 14, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. Finally got my new webcam, so if you guys can see the massive difference in quality, it's because I got my new webcam. Alright, so tonight's Raw was the second 2-hour show, and it felt the pacing of this show was a lot better than last week's show. Mind you, this show was taped, so they could have edited it to make it look flawless, but the pacing was a little bit better than last week, because last week, I don't know what happened last week. All right, let's kick things off talking about this Jey Uso segment. So, as you guys know, on SmackDown, Jimmy Uso had told Roman Reigns that they need help. And so Jey went into his locker, and Jimmy Uso was right there. He was right there, and he walked away, and Jimmy was trying to talk to Jey, but Jey just did not want to hear it. So it's obviously we're building towards the men's War Games match. It's probably going to be the Bloodline versus the new Bloodline. So they're trying to recruit Jey. So I wonder if Jimmy Uso is going to keep coming to Raw, or he'll appear sporadically until he convinces Jey to come back to the Bloodline. I mean, I don't blame Jey for not wanting anything to do with Jimmy. But I think this is just the beginning of Jimmy Uso coming to Raw to try to convince Jey to rejoin the Bloodline. And I feel like maybe even Roman might come to Raw to try to convince Jey to come back, because they are going to need help. And I wonder if they're going to also try to get Sami Zayn as well. But I thought it was an interesting segment. Like I said, they're obviously building to the War Games match, and they can't have a War Games match without Jimmy and Jey. All right. So tonight's Raw kicked off with the Rhea Ripley promo, and I feel like this was such typical opening segment. They used this to set up the main event. So Rhea Ripley was interrupted by Tiffany Stratton here. And basically, they get attacked by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And we find out that the match later on is going to be Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Honestly, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm just so over the feud between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Sorry, I apologize for that, you guys. I had to step away for a bit. But I was saying, I was just so over this whole storyline. I mean, Rhea Ripley technically beat Liv Morgan at Bad Blood by DQ. The Terror Twins defeated Liv and Dom. Why are we still pushing this feud? Why? It's I really just don't like Rhea Ripley's booking or the New Judgment Day's booking. Their booking is just not doing them any favors. Raquel's supposed to be the muscle to Judgment Day. Why? How is it that Rhea Ripley was able to get the upper hand last on SmackDown? It's I'm just not liking the booking here, and the booking's really making me get tired of this feud. We have to move on. We get the women's tag title match, and it's Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Damage Control. I thought this was a pretty good match. Now, Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend were in the crowd, They faced Jade and Bianca on SmackDown and lost. Now, you can say they caused damage control this match because Lash Legend cheap shotted Io Sky, which allowed Jade, Corey, and Bianca Belair to win this match. So, are we looking at getting a three-way here? Jade and Bianca versus Damage Control versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, probably. But this was a good match. I did like it. We have to wait and see. But I honestly would see them setting up a triple threat here. Or maybe we might get Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Damage Control, number one contenders here. So we'll have to wait and see. But does it need to triple threat? I definitely think it might need to number one contenders match. We get a Judgment Day segment. And like Finn Balor wants his rematch with Damian Priest. Why? I don't know. I mean, I know Finn Balor lost, but it's like, that's what doesn't make sense. It's like, why would he want the rematch when he lost? And he lost clean. Again, like, Judgment Day was out there. Finn Balor should have won that match. But nope. Again, this is why I say don't like New Judgment Day's booking. I don't like Damian Priest's booking either. So we also find out we're going to get a tournament to find new challengers for those tag titles. Now, well, funny thing here is when Liv Morgan introduces Raquel Rodriguez to the group, Carlito drops his apple. So it seems like he's smitten with her. I wonder if we're going to get another couple on Judgment Day here. We get an American-made Vignette, which I think is pretty cool. I really like this Vignette. It establishes them as they say that they need to be the hero that the WWE Universe needs. So I think it's interesting here. They're trying to be heroes to the WWE Universe. I hope they do win the tag titles. And Chad Gable does win a singles title. We also get a Braun Breaker Vignette. And one of the things I like about this is that he explains his actions as to why he speared Jey Uso after he showed respect. And he explains that Jey never showed respect for him, which is true, I guess you could say, because he never did say he respected Braun Breaker. And I also like the fact that Braun Breaker basically brings up the fact that he doesn't need his family name. So yes, he's not using the name of Steiner. But he says that Jey has been closing off his family's legacy. He's coming back for that IC title. So the rematch is set to happen next week on Raw. I can't wait for it. I think it'll be a good match. I question, though, if Braun Breaker is going to win back the title so quickly or if Jey Uso is going to hold on to it. Or if to try to get Jey to go back to Bloodline, and one of the new Bloodlines is going to play a factor into this. We get a Bronson Reed segment, and he's adamant he wants his match with Seth frickin' Rollins. And so Damian Priest, Adam Pearce promises that he's going to talk to Seth frickin' Rollins, and later on in the night, Adam Pearce does talk to Seth Rollins, and he wants to fight with Bronson Reed. We don't get any official confirmation when the match is going to take place, but maybe it'll take place on Raw, or maybe it'll take place at Crown Jewel, but I definitely do feel like we're going to get a match out of this. We're setting it up to be that way. Tonight we also got the return of the Viking Raiders, who went back to their original name of the War Raiders and back to their NXT theme. This was the start of the World Tag Team Championship number one contenders first round match. It was Alpha Academy versus the War Raiders. I have to say, this was an enhancement match because even though Alpha Academy are established talent, this was just to give the War Raiders a great showing on their first match back. They did have a great showing. I wonder if Valhalla's coming back too, but the War Raiders won this, and it would not surprise me if the War Raiders win this whole thing and be the ones to take the tag titles off of Judgment Day. But great showing. Really happy that they're back. Ivar is really, really good as a singles competitor. I'm surprised he didn't win any singles gold when Eric was out for an injury. But I'm hoping this time around, if they do get a push, they don't stop and start their push like previous times. we get a Cody Rhodes promo, and Cody Rhodes, this is just your typical run-of-the-mill Cody Rhodes promo. Doesn't really say much. One of the things he does bring up is the fact that St. Louis is where the We Want Cody started. He gets interrupted by Gunter, and Gunter basically puts Cody Rhodes over. He talks about how Cody is a quarterback of the WWE. Crowd starts chanting, "Thank you, Cody." Talks about how the boom in WWE and in the sport is built on Cody's back and stuff. So he basically he gives Cody Rhodes his flowers here, and he wants the best version of Cody in Saudi Arabia. Now, I will say, Gunter aims low by calling Cody Rhodes a secondary champion. I was like, damn. And ultimately, Cody Rhodes shakes Gunter's hand. Both men shake hands. So I actually kind of did like this segment with Cody Rhodes and Gunter. Obviously, with a little under a month to go for Crown Jewel, I definitely could see more interaction between them. But I like this. We also get a Dragon Lee Vignette. And I'm hoping with this Vignette, he's in line for a push. Dragon Lee is a phenomenal talent, and I definitely want to see him get pushed. The last time he was champion, he was NXT North American champion. So, we'll see where he goes. I wonder if he's still going to continue being part of the LWO, or if he's going to eventually get separated. So we get Kofi Kingston versus Bron Breakker. One of the interesting things I noticed about this is that Kofi Kingston went out there alone. Like, Xavier Woods was nowhere to be in sight. Bron Breakker pretty much, I would say, destroys Kofi Kingston in this. And then Xavier Woods comes out at the end. That's when he comes out. I kind of thought that maybe Xavier Woods was going to turn heel here. They're slowly, spreading the breadcrumbs here. So it's just a matter of time before Xavier Woods does turn heel and he does betray Kofi Kingston. But Jey Uso comes out and he spears Bron Breakker and he hits him with a super kick. We get a Rhea Ripley segment. And she's basically talking to Damian Priest. Again, I really hope we do move on from this. I know Rhea during this segment told Damian Priest that since he got his revenge on Finn Balor, it's time to move on. But I'm just so over this whole feud with Liv and Rhea. We gotta move on. We get the R-Truth versus The Miz. Surprisingly, R-Truth beat The Miz. But an interesting thing that happened during this match is a Wyatt Six. Not one. They themselves didn't appear, but the static and their graphics appeared. So I feel like The Miz is the next victim of the Wyatt Six because he did betray R-Truth. He did attack him, and so it'll be interesting though. I wonder how they're gonna do that because when they were after Chad Gable, he had a whole team and they had a tag match. So I wonder how Miz is gonna fare against Wyatt Six here. So even though R-Truth wins, AOP tosses R-Truth back into the ring, and Miz hits him with the skull-crushing finale. So the main event ends up being a tag match. It's Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. This was an okay match. This match actually doesn't have a winner because Nia Jax comes out and she's trying to get revenge for what happened on SmackDown. And she actually ends up taking out Liv. And she encourages Tiffany to cash in on Liv. Again, the storyline that they're telling with Tiffany, she's going to definitely end up cashing in on Nia Jax, not on Liv Morgan. But Dirty Dom saves Liv and prevents Tiffany from cashing in. So, and that concludes the review. Overall, this Raw, the pacing of the show, like I said at the beginning, was much better than last week's, that's for sure. But I just felt like this was just a regular Raw. I wasn't a huge fan of the main event, but we didn't get a clear finish. R-Truth versus Miz, I get why they did that. The Cody Rhodes promo just felt like your typical Cody promo. And then the women's tag team match was pretty good. I liked it. So I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. And this was a taped show. So it wasn't expecting too much. I'm wondering how the second live 2-hour Raw is gonna compare to the first one. So, all right. Well, with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I will see you guys Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.